Welcome to the Hollow Points Podcast. We are glad you decided to tune into another episode where we provide an aggressively therapeutic outlet on topics that many think about but are afraid to speak on. We actually made it to season 4. This should be our best work yet, since we are finally off probation.
Welcome to the Hollow Points Podcast. I'm excited about this one. We have a special guest. Welcome, Jessica.
Hello.
And then we have, what's your name this episode?
Chris P.
It's
always
different
gonna be crispy.
different every
it's al-
episode.
yeah, it's always gonna be crispy though.
Okay. So today's topic, we want to talk about the dating timelines. We want to talk about the honeymoon stage. How long does it last? Should it last forever? Should it be expected? Should you be in it for 6 months, a year, and then know that it's over and know that it's plateaued? And if there's a honeymoon, then there's also what's the opposite of a honeymoon? An onion moon, a different stage. So let's kick that off. The scenario is you've met someone, you like them, they pass all the tests, the 80-20 rule. So they have 80% of what you want, 20%. Those are things that are not deal breakers, but you can deal with them and you can see yourself with this person. They pass the Polaroid test, you look at the picture, you can see yourself with them.
Right.
So you're still getting to know each other in the beginning. How long is that honeymoon stage, or what should you expect during that? We'll go to you first.
I think that, like in 92% of all questions, the answer is it depends. It depends on, once again, we talk about quality and quantity. You could be with somebody for a long time, but not really have a quality dynamic, or you could spend a weekend and be swept off your feet and know, I never want to. When I was young, I never want to leave this person or stop speaking with this person. When I was young, I used to meet chicks and we would be on the phone, no, you hang up, no, you hang up. You just couldn't get enough of her voice and couldn't get enough of her attention and that kind of stuff. And as you age, that becomes sophomoric and you really don't want to fall under that genre. But at the same point in time, you opine for those feelings, that innocence, that puppy love type situation. So when I think of a honeymoon phase, I think of the starry-eyed puppy love bliss before you learn that she don't look like that in the mornings, before you learn that, you know, it costs a lot to keep her nails done the way that you like them. Like before you learn, you know, where all the dimples and all this other stuff tends to be. But I think that it can't be something that is manufactured or crafted ahead of time. It has to be within the flow of the emotions that are intertwined between two mature adults. And it's kind of like they say, when you know, you know. And I don't know if it's something that necessarily, I've not had a situation where it's been a designated spoken dynamic of, hey, in 2 weeks, you realize you my guy. You know, one of the things we've talked about in the past in the Black community is you have to be hesitant to even get a chick number and call her 2 times in a row, because as far as she's concerned, y'all talking. That's why. So if she hear about you talking to anybody, like you had no idea you was gonna meet her on that Saturday. But damn it, if you had a date scheduled for Monday, once you met Tiffany, you need to cancel that, because you've had 2 good conversations Saturday night and Sunday morning with Tiffany, and now y'all talking. You know what I'm saying? And that's very, very harsh, because I didn't know I was going to run into you and need then to dedicate my life. But you hear about a lot of people, and I don't know if this is romanticizing romance, but we are getting infected by the stories of, I met him and we spoke and we've spent every day since together. That's a lot of commitment, a lot of responsibility. And so those people, you know, may still think they're in the honeymoon phase, but I don't know when one becomes 2, you know, in that regard. I know 2 becomes 1 is the marriage part of it, but 1 becomes 2 in the dating aspect of it. And that's where you start, every time I see you, you with him. Every time I hear about, hey, I'm on the other line with my boo, like your friends are saying, y'all don't go to the movies no more and all this and all that. I know that that's different depending on so many factors outside of how much I care about you as a woman, you care about me as a man, especially when you funky grown and you got a life and you got responsibilities, whether it be jobs, kids, whatever. And so I think it's hard to put a timetable on it. I'll finish by saying this before I hand it off to you, Jessica, because I know you've lived these experiences. It's also inappropriate to think that we're not getting no younger, we might as well do this. Or we've been dating for about 2 years, and that's usually the time where rings start showing up. So every Christmas, You're thinking it's gonna be a ring for Christmas. It's because I know people that have gotten married in 2 months, 2
Mhm.
years, and 8 years. And it made it or didn't make it for multiple reasons, but I don't know if the time that it incubated had anything to do with it. Do you believe an incubation period is mandatory? Is there a minimum incubation period for your love as a woman?
Well, so I like the fact that you said that with age, right? That we're like
Yeah.
running out of time. We feel like we're running out of time with our age. So I think that the older that we get and when we are meeting someone, we're actually looking for someone for the future, right?
Okay.
So I think sometimes we tend to want to rush things and get that ring or get that commitment going, right? Because we're like, well, we're running out of time. And a lot of, I think a lot of us, we're aspired by like the people that have longevity in their relationship, like the people that have been married for 45 years. So if I think about myself right now and I'm about to be 44, well, if I were to get married today, right, I'm looking at maybe a 25-year marriage only, right? So when you think about things like that, I think sometimes we think like, oh, well, we're getting older and we don't want to be alone, right? But as far as like timelines go, I don't know that you can put a timeline on a honeymoon stage. I do like how you said the 2-year with a ring, because I do think that the honeymoon can be anywhere from like 6 months to 2 years, right? So within that 6 months, or that it could end in that 6 months because you're getting to know each other, depending on your connection and how much time you spend together, right? So if you're spending every single day together, like you're like, hey, we just met and now we're inseparable and we see each other every day, you're probably going to hit that 6-month mark.
Yep.
Where where that honeymoon is starting to fade away. Because you know what? I've seen you now that I've seen the true colors. But if you don't see each other, you're a little bit more mature and you don't see each other, you still have your separate lives, and you have a pretty good connection. I think around that maybe 2-year mark, it's like, hey, what are we doing now? And then you start to kind of, think about things and, well, hey, it's been 2 years now. So am I, like, where are we going? Where are we heading? Where maybe things start getting difficult. So again, you can't really put a timeline on it. It's more about like your connection, how much time you spend together in the beginning. All of those things I think matter. So I don't know that there's a
So
timeline.
before I go to you, bruh, I think though what I'm hearing you say, you can absolutely correct me. You can't put a minimum timeline on it, but can't no dude date you for 9 years. So you will put a maximum timeline on it, right?
Right. I think you should.
Okay. Okay.
No, I think you should. I think that everyone is worth that. You know what I mean? Like I think, that we need to have some kind of boundaries and standards. So I do think that not saying a timeline like, oh, I'm going to go out and start looking for somebody now and I need to be married within a year. Like not that kind of a timeline.
They
And
say that on Pop
I
the
don't
Balloon
think
a
that you
lot.
can really rush something real.
Yeah, right.
So
Right.
I think so. You really have to give it some time, especially you have to give yourself enough time to have those difficult conversations, to have those arguments and to, to figure each other out. Because if
Right.
you don't give yourself that time, you jump into a relationship like that, then you find out later on that, hey, our communication styles are different, or I don't like that, how this person wakes up every day or, keeps her house or whatever it may be. Right? You're just like, I don't know. I don't know if you jump into it too soon.
Right.
But again, not 9 years. hmm
So
Just to be clear. She like
yeah,
just be clear.
not that. I think everything has extremes. So would you say is an extremely too fast? We'll start out with you, Jessica. Are you saying anything less than 6 months is too fast to be getting married?
do.
Or
I do.
so what
That scares me. The idea of
about
meeting
9
someone.
months?
Say that again.
What about 9 months? Is that too fast?
I still think that's way too fast.
Okay.
Well, again, again,
What's
so
what's
I
the
think it's
minimum? What's
how
the
much, I mean, and I can't speak for everyone, right? Because
minimum?
for some people
Right.
that works. For some
Right.
people that works. For me, I think commitment is something very important to me. I take that very seriously. So for me, I don't want to really put a timeline on it, but I do want to make sure Like I do want to make sure that we are connecting, that our, that I can, that our families, like we're good with each other's families. Like those are all really important things,
Right.
that we're integrating our lives together, and we are seeing each other in different scenarios and scenes, right? And so that we're, I mean, there's so many more things to it. So I think that 9 months, 6 months, 9 months, maybe even a year is pretty soon. It's pretty soon. I think in a
Want to
year,
go?
that's when maybe you should start thinking about, okay, maybe it's time for you to start meeting my family. Maybe it's time
Right.
for, things like that.
What's the?
Go
Let
to
me
you,
ask you this.
Coach.
What's the? Let me ask Jessica this question though to align with that. What's the fastest you can recall ever falling in love?
Falling in love.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about that. No, I'm just kidding. So I do know the difference between like infatuation and love.
Correct.
I
Correct.
may not have at one point in my life, right? When I was
Okay.
younger.
Okay.
I would just say that my middle name is love. Like I just am love,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
I
Okay.
love love. I am love. Like I believe in love. Like I love everyone. I love all people, so like
Right.
I
Right.
just
Right.
I am love. So it's hard for me to decipher really if it's like, that I really care about you versus I love you. When
Okay.
I feel safe is when I know, you know what? I think this is love because I'm feeling safe now. I'm letting down my guards. I'm feeling, I know that you're leading. Like I'm letting you lead because I'm an independent woman,
Mhm.
right? I'm doing all of this on my own. And
Mhm.
so, in order for me to feel for someone and fall in love with someone, I have to know that I'm going to be safe and that they're going to lead and that I can show my
Mhm.
femininity
Mhm.
What's
and
the
and
quickest you
and
felt
be in my
safe?
soft girl era. Say that again.
What's the quickest that you felt safe with them?
The quickest that I have felt safe, I would say probably about a year.
Damn. Damn. It take a long time.
It does. I mean, like you start to know, I would say like I have like in the past, like have been like, okay, about 9 months, 9 months,
Okay.
around nine
Okay.
months, thinking like, okay,
Okay.
you know what? I'm gonna continue on with this, right? I don't like to waste a whole lot of time. So
Okay.
I'm just kind of like, and I am such a relationship driven person. I kind of
Okay.
stay in relationships for a long time and
Okay.
do what I can to make it work. I want to communicate. I want to do all of those things. So that's, I'm not always single
Right.
and I'm not always dating though. I'm like in a relationship for a long time. So like my
Right.
last relationship was 12 years.
Right.
So, like, and I've been out of that relationship now for 4 years,
Okay.
going on 5 years. So in
Okay.
between there, I haven't fallen in love like that, where,
Mhm.
you're just like, I'm ready. I'm
Mhm.
ready to take it to the next level. Yeah. So anyways,
So,
Are you not afraid to over nurture a relationship? Because it seems like once you get in, you're doing everything you can to nurture the shit out of it
yeah.
to make sure, this is I'm giving it all I got. So if it didn't work, it's not on me. Like, do you feel a fear of over nurturing?
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. That is a thing also, but I also feel that I give myself my all. I do over nurture for sure,
Okay.
but I think that it's coming from a good place to where that I'm a good woman at the end, right? And so yes, when it doesn't work, it's not my problem. It's not my fault, right? Because I did.
do you think you overstayed in the 12-year relationship?
Yes, I did.
By how much?
I would say right at the 8-year mark. So I would say about
Damn,
20,
4? You overstayed 4?
yeah.
Jessica.
I know.
and that
Because I
taken
because I
from a
felt
good
safe.
place.
I once felt safe, and it was scary for me to think about starting all over again, right? And so we
So
stay and
you
try
said
to
it's coming
grow
from a good place. For who?
for no one.
Okay.
But, like I still worked on it. I was like, "Oh,
Right.
let's communicate better.
Right.
Let's, keep the spark alive.
In a
Let's,
relationship, is no I work on it. When you see that I am working on it, I'm the only one.
And that's exactly what happened. Well, and that's exactly what happened. And I've learned my lesson from that. And so because of that lesson, it's harder for me to fall in love and nurture to the extreme to where I'm vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So would you say you have relationship PTSD?
Be alone, but I would
That's not
love.
what I asked you. I
So,
can
but I don't know. I'll answer that question. I do not think that I have relationship PTSD because
from
I'm
that
very
relationship
open.
now it's
Well,
hard for
I'm
you to
very
trust.
loving. I am very open to loving again.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't think that. I don't
Okay.
think that I have relationship PTSD because I'm ready. I'm ready for a relationship, and I say that, right? And then I think about my life and I think,
Mhm.
well, I have kids.
Mhm.
I have two boys that are almost grown and out of the house. Hopefully they're out of the house soon, right? But and then I have a daughter that's 11 years old, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
for me to date someone, it has to be something that I feel is safe and real for me to continue on. She doesn't know me with anyone else but her father.
Got
So when I bring someone into the home to meet her and to be a part of her life, that's when we're getting serious.
Gotcha.
And that's
Gotcha.
when I'm ready to move to the next stage. But I know that that's hard for other people, and it is hard for me to even think about inviting someone in to tell me how to parent and how
Right.
to run my
Right.
household, right? Because
Right.
I think I
Right.
do a pretty good job. So I need to be on the same level as someone, and somebody else needs to understand that, and we have to have an understanding. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't let a man put his 2 cents in and come in and
Mhm.
help me and
Mhm.
guide me in that process. I'm okay with that. I'm very open to that.
Do you have a fear of meeting a guy who has young children that then you would have to have the same energy for his children and they're at your house and you're doing a quasi stepmom type of role? Is that do women ever think about things like that as far as a fear
Absolutely.
of okay, okay,
So,
okay.
absolutely, and maybe that's selfish, I don't know, but
Right.
personally, you hear about men that don't wanna date, women with young kids.
Right,
I
right, right.
don't really wanna date a man with young kids because I
Okay.
already I have that responsibility. If I found the right person and he had young kids, would I accept that? 100%. I would.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
a nurturer by heart, I'm a teacher,
Right. 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 Right.
I would, and I would be great
Right.
at it.
Right.
However, that's just not where I'm at in life. My daughter she is very independent, even for her age, and
Mhm.
I'm ready to. Okay.
Okay, you ready? I have a quick
Yeah.
question here. So
Okay, cool.
I,
And then I got one.
Sorry.
This is this is fascinating.
it is fascinating. I'm sorry. I don't
You
even
know,
want to talk to you right now. I just want to talk to her.
right,
Uh,
right. Me too.
So, what you're open to this relationship, this love, and to letting him put his 2 cents in. Are you open to the idea of shutting that whole house down and you come live in his house
Yeah, I am.
and put his 2 cents in or his 98 cents? Because you had 98 cents in your house.
That's true. That's true. I'm
Or
not,
do you,
not ready for that. For
Okay.
90,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I really do want to be in my soft girl era and let a man lead, right?
Mm,
If that takes me giving up some of my power,
mhm,
for a man to lead, I would be
mhm,
okay with that. And I know how to do that. I've done it in the past, maybe too
mhm,
much, right?
mhm,
So I think I know how to have a good balance with communication.
mhm,
So I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that. I think that my kids would be okay with that too. My kids want to see me happy.
mhm,
I've raised them to be respectful. I raised them to know that their mom is not like that and I'm just not out here just dating whoever.
mhm,
So they would know and they would trust that, hey, if mom's bringing us into another man's house or another man into her home, that
mhm.
they're going to trust that, hey, she knows what she's doing. Like we're safe,
Mhm. Okay,
So I'm okay with that.
your question.
Do
I'm
you
okay with
think that the you dating now with the moving pieces and all of the responsibilities, obviously sought after and embraced responsibilities, because there's nothing like being a parent, right? There's
Right.
nothing like having that little you running around and you know that they're looking to you for guidance and support and things of that nature. Do you think it would be easier? Let's just say I'm in the market to date Jessica. Should I wait about 5 years and get Jessica where her daughter has a car and this and that, so therefore me and Jessica is just me and Jessica? Or should I try to kind of hokey pokey, put my left foot in, left foot out, and meander with Jessica for the next 5 years? Because to be honest with you, in 5 years, you'll be a completely different, forget about the age. Don't even worry about that, right? You'll still be
Nope.
fine. You'll still be smart. You'll still be professional. But in 5 years, I'm getting a totally different woman because of the lack of hands-on responsibility because I have an 11-year-old as well. An 11-year-old, although they can feed themselves and wash themselves and all this other stuff, you
Right.
still got to check the alarm. You still got to this or that. Once your kids are all of a mature and draftable age, a military draft age, then all of a sudden it's like a weight is lifted because you've ran your race, you've done what you were put here to do, and you've raised your children up in the way in which you want them to go biblically. And now that is your soft girl phase to me, because now you have all the energy to put into Jessica and her soft girl phase without having to kind of reserve a little bit for mommy Jess. So should I, if I'm thinking of really falling in love with you, just let you transition to super soft girl Jess? 5 years in the grand scheme of things is not a long time. I know nobody's promised tomorrow. We're not gonna go into that part of it. But should I just wait? Because think about how fierce you're gonna be in 5 years. I don't know if you said and thought about this, but like shit, in 5 years, like damn, have you thought about that?
Yes. Okay. So when you talk about okay, let's rewind. When you talk about timelines, okay, 5 years is close to 9 years, right?
Right.
So I think that you better catch me soon because in 5 years, when I'm in my soft girl era, real
Right,
soft, you might
right.
not get me then, right?
Right,
So you know what I
right.
mean? Like if you're trying to pursue that. And
Right.
I also don't and let's say that we are talking now and
Mhm.
you're like, well, I'm gonna wait for 5 years for her. I don't really go backwards. Like if I'm not for you now, why am I gonna be
Okay.
for you in 5 years?
Because you're a
Right?
different you.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, I'm a different me. However, like I'm here, I'm 100% in there for you. Okay, not 100%, right? Because I still have my kids. So
Mhm.
I can maybe give myself a good maybe 75 even, now
Okay.
maybe not the full 80, but I can give
Gotcha.
myself like 75 because
Mhm.
she she is very, she's very self-sufficient. And
Right.
I'm not asking for a whole lot. I'm not asking for to find her a daddy, any of
Right.
that, right?
Right.
Maybe I'm looking for a daddy.
Right.
So with with that being
Yeah.
said, like I
Right.
do wanna spend my time with someone. I don't wanna be here alone. And so I think I would prefer someone playing hokey pokey. A little step in, a little step out, a little step there. Being here and maybe on the sidelines cheering me on this for 5
Mhm.
years, that's fine.
Mhm.
I'm okay
Mhm.
with that as long as I feel good about this, right?
Okay.
Now, if
Okay.
you're on the sidelines cheering me on, but you're hanging out with the cheerleaders over here and you're
Right.
and you're doing all that extra,
Right.
then
Right.
then
Right.
maybe that's not gonna work for me.
Right.
And I'm not even saying that, like, you have to commit fully to me, like, what I don't know, right?
Mhm.
As long as I feel confident when you're with me and you're treating me with respect and,
Mhm.
all of that. Like, I think a little hokey pokey would be okay. It would be okay
Why wouldn't hanging out with the cheerleader sometime work for you?
when I don't know. Like, I don't
I
know
mean,
at all.
even if you know, like, why
No,
wouldn't that
that's
work?
not okay. That's not okay.
Are you
And for
confident that
me
you're still the better choice, the better person for this?
wait, you say that? Say what again?
Are you confident that you're a better pick than a cheerleader, though? You have
I don't
a
know.
career.
I don't know because I'm not gonna compare myself to anyone else, right? So that cheerleader over there, she may have, everything, right? I know I'm a good person and I know what I have to bring, right? So I'm not gonna compare myself to anything else, but I do know that I'm always the one that got away, right?
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I am very confident in that sense that I can provide what a man needs to be happy, right? If we can work on, whatever it is that we need to work on. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she has way more than I have to offer. I don't
She
know because I
she
don't know what
probably
he's
said
looking
because
for.
he's still talking to you too.
Yeah,
Right.
but I don't know what he's looking for, right? I don't know
Right.
what the man would be looking for.
That's a good point.
So
Right.
maybe, so maybe I'm not meeting all of the criteria that he's looking for,
That's
right?
the communication thing.
I'm
Yep,
making
back
I'm
to that.
meeting all of my own personal criteria. I'm making sure that I am happy, right? So I radiate that, happiness. And so I am a pick for that. So
So could I let me ask the coach? So what's a healthy percentage of yourself to give to someone if you have kids in a career?
That's a good question.
Man,
I personally, it's sparked because I think 80% is a little bit too much.
yeah, I
I,
do too.
I
But I don't think it's wise to do the math that way. I think what's for
Okay.
you is for you, and that's 100% of yours. Just like you said it in the episode, when you schedule time with me, I need that time to be 100% about me.
Mhm.
Now that doesn't mean when you schedule time with your kids, I'm not gonna call and be like, "Hey, y'all still out? How long y'all gonna be out?" Like I think you partition it to where everything you do segmented
Yeah.
is getting 100%. And so therefore, I just know when it's about me to the best of your ability. Life happens,
Mhm.
but when it's about work, I'm gonna keep the kids occupied so you can get that work done. When
Mhm.
it's about church, I'm gonna while you in whatever it is, I need you to be involved and engaged in your efforts so you can maximize the benefit of who you are in every situation. If you mom, if you woman, if you girlfriend, if you employee, if you karate kung fu instructor, whatever you're doing, I need you to keep your eye on the prize because I need to see you at your best in every aspect of what you bring to the table. So yeah, I think that the math just has to be adjusted to where the answer honestly is 80 to 100% in everything, but it's because you've created a strategy where you know when I set up this time, hey, sister, whoever, I'm gonna go away to the Poconos for 48 hours with Bob, and you can call me for sure if you need something. Please do everything you can not to need something, because Mama just getting 48 hours for 2 months, right? Like you got to pick your times, pick your spots, and then take your shots. That's how I would approach it in that situation. I do have a question if you don't have a follow-up to her because I'm fascinated by something that I would love to ask her. But go ahead, you
I
can
want to
respond to that.
follow up. Can I follow up really
Okay.
quick?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I love that you said that it's not about that 80-20 when you have kids, right? It's about
Yeah.
when I'm with you, I'm giving 100%.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Because that's what's most important. So that's what I'm saying. When we're playing that hokey pokey, right? When you are with me, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what you're doing over here on the sidelines, but when you are with me, it's all about me, right?
Right.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling safe. That is what it's about, is when you are with the person, are you giving 100%? That's it.
And I was
We had
just
a
going to
oh,
ask
go ahead.
you if there was a time frame that you had where you would make fun of us and say that's too soon to be getting married. Do you?
No, I don't. I don't. Like I said, because I just am love, like I believe in it and I mean, I believe I've seen people just meet like on Tinder even and get together and move in with each other within 2 months, and then in 6 months they're, getting married and they're still together after 4 years. I don't know how much longer they're gonna, because usually we talk about that like 7-year mark, right, where it gets really
Mm-hmm.
tough.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if it works for now, like, who's to say? For me, I just walk into it with caution because I have little ones at home.
Do you
Otherwise,
have a,
I can't tell you. I would maybe be married already,
do you
right?
have a time, coach, that's too soon? It's too extreme?
No, because
2 weeks is not
y-
too soon.
it's not, man. It don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. Once you've done this, you know what I mean, to a degree, to an extent, I can imagine being 42 and I done hold around enough. I done had my heart broke. I done broke hearts. I done did all this. And I run into her. I am a love at first sight, soulmate kind of believer, right? And
Mhm.
so sometimes it's insurmountable and you can fight. I believe that love and affection and emotion is like a river or a stream. I'll make it even better. It's like a stream. And so the water is flowing. And a lot of us are flow disruptors. Sometimes the water is fast, sometimes the water is peaceful, but the flow is the flow. What we tend to do is try to build dams to control the flow of emotion. That's antithetical to how love works. You often have a situation where how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. Like you look up and find yourself in love, and you like, oh my God, what the hell? Why am I thinking about this dude? Why is he in my dream? That's love? Like it all in your face off safety. That's real love. And unfortunately, we get afraid of that because we can't explain it to our friends, or somebody's going to be like, man, you just met her. She got your nose wide open, this, that. Listen, man, love don't care about none of that. Love don't care about social norms or societal conforms and things of that nature. It just wants to be exhausted. It wants to be exercised. And so you got to walk love like a dog. You got to take that dog out and walk it. And so, no, I don't think that if I met a chick and because I'm a measure twice, cut once, you got to know the personality too. Now, if you have somebody that's impulsive, that's the had their lights cut off because they wanted a handbag, that's the, you know what I'm saying, lost all the money at the casino, and then, and Charmaine be like, girl, I met my love of my life. We getting married in 2 weeks. That's Charmaine. You know how Charmaine is. You know she done, every dude is the greatest dude ever. But if you meet, if you came to me, honestly, I'll tell you the honest truth. If you came to me, said, hey, I met this chick, man, it's just something. It's something, man. Man, I don't know. And then you just feel overwhelmed within 2 months that I really need to see where this is going to go to the fullest extent. And when I spoke with her about it, she said, damn, me too. Who am I to be like, calm down, y'all. Wait till something go bad. Wait till, cause that's all you telling them. You telling them to wait till something go bad. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, love has made a fool of all of us before.
It has.
Mm-hmm.
Their dams they serve a purpose in society. Don't
And
knock
sometimes
dams.
sometimes we swim upstream, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
But
Yeah.
So I will say this. I have failed so successfully because I know I did everything I was supposed to. She said, if this shit ain't it, it ain't me. That's how you got to go in. You got to go in like, listen, it's the people that's willing to die that wins the war. Like you go you got to be willing to put it all out there, and then you come out victorious and you're a conqueror. So yes, love has made fools of people, but sometimes it's because they took their eye off it or they doubted it, and then it betrayed them. But when you are genuine and you got a vibe at the same frequency as that person that you with, once again, don't try to build a person or nurture a person to your way of thinking, or prepare a dude that's had, a bad relationship with his mama, a bad relationship with the law, a bad relationship with the bank. Like you're trying to build him back up. You know what I'm saying? No, he's not good with relationships, right? So what make you think the relationship with you gonna be better than any of these others? Or he got kids that he don't take care of, but when he get with you and your cat's so good that he gonna take care of this one. No, he's told you he doesn't like taking care of children. That's his.
Are you
That's real
saying
simple.
that credit score is a relationship with the bank that we need to look at?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a commitment. It's a commitment, and it's incremental, and credit scores don't just plummet from one bad decision. That's not how. It's a cascading series of decisions that make your shit plummet, just like relationships. Generally, it's not just one. Now you hear people, I got drunk and I slept with this chick, but it's rare. It's usually bad behavior, or you was on your way out, or you just couldn't get right. I was always making excuses and concessions and explaining for you. I was always the one that was doing the most. I was doing more of the heavy lifting. When there's not balance, that's where you have those situations.
This concludes another episode of the Hollow Points Podcast, where we act as your therapeutic outlet on topics many think about but are afraid to speak on.
Oh, you're welcome.